Welcome everybody to a CKCA national discussion. This one is on artificial intelligence, leveraging potential in the kitchen cabinet shop. Just a few housekeeping notes. If we have any technical issues, touch wood, which we hope we don't have, we will reschedule. Remember to unmute when you need to speak. The session is being recorded, and we will make it available on demand for our members to watch later, as well as we encourage you, if you find the information very useful, to share it with your staff. And we'll do Q&A at the end. My name is Sandra Wood. I'm the Executive Director of CKCA, and I see many familiar names and faces. These are my contact coordinates. Please feel free to reach out to me at any time. One of the things I keep saying over and over again is make sure you're hearing from us on a weekly basis as members, especially. You should be getting, getting a call here. You should be hearing from us every week with our e-blasts. If you're not, get in touch with me. That's a red flag. We're hitting spam or some other security wall. So we want to stay connected with you. The agenda today is pretty straightforward. I'll just give you a quick update about CKCA, and then I'm going to hand it over to Nikki Van Boeyen, who's with Gipman Kitchens and Cabinetry, and she's going to dive into the topic, and then we'll, as mentioned, do Q&A at the end. So as many of you know and have probably met many of the board of directors, we have 13 board members from east to west. And next week, actually, we have an annual meeting where we will see 2 of our board members departing, and then we will be bringing in 2 new board members to this. So I will be updating this chart, but these are your board members, and you're also more than welcome to reach out to any of them. If you want their coordinates, please get in touch with me, and I'm happy to share that with you. So just a few things that we've been working on. As many of you know, as members at the beginning of the year, you would have received our membership brochure, which outlines all the programs and services that we offer. We encourage you to use those programs and services. They are designed to help you. And we're also always open to new ideas. If you've got new programs that you'd like to see us develop, please let us know. We're happy to look into that. As well, we're doing local meetups now. This is a fairly new initiative we started late fall of last year. We have a local meetup actually this week in Oakville, Ontario at Wood Doer. And if you are in that area and you would like to drop by for a few hours and connect with other people in the industry in your area, you're more than welcome. We just ask that you please register, and you can just go to our website to do that. So that's very exciting, and that will conclude most of the meetups. We're going to take a break through the summer, and then we'll start them again in the fall. If you want a local meetup in your area, just let us know, and let's set something up. It would be great to do that. In the fall as well, we have our national forum that will be taking place in Winnipeg, October the 2nd to the 4th. So we're very excited about that. Hope to have another sellout crowd. I will be putting registration online for that coming up in the next couple of months. So watch for that and make sure you register early, because we do sell out on these events now. And last but not least, many of you are manufacturers. And as you know, every month, the last Thursday of every month, we run a Zoom call like this for our manufacturers roundtable. Just an informal get together, talk shop, whatever questions, ideas that you have that you want to bring to a group, you're more than welcome to do that. So if you don't have the coordinates for the Zoom calls for the Manufacturers Roundtable, get in touch with me and I'll be more than happy to send that to you. So AI in manufacturing, I was just poking around a little bit because, of course, we're all seeing tons of information on this right now, and it's a little overwhelming. And, you know, I think we always think of AI for the big shops, but we know that there are some very tangible tools that you can use in your shop. So just a few pieces of data that I thought was very interesting, that according to the Chamber of Commerce, they have a business data lab that released a report detailing a sluggish adoption of Gen AI among Canadian businesses. Roughly 1 in 7 Canadian businesses, about 14%, are early Gen AI adopters, but more likely in businesses that export or are larger. Industries with or that have industries that have highly educated workers. Depending on the rate of adoption, Gen AI could grow Canada's productivity between 1 and 6% over the next decade. And we're certainly hearing lots around Canada's poor performance on productivity on the international stage. Most businesses using Gen I are predominantly looking to accelerate content creation. And I think Nikki's going to get into some of that today, about 69%, and automate work without job cuts. So I think that's kind of an interesting point to make. And almost 3 in 4 Canadian businesses, 73%, have not even considered using Gen AI yet. And I think this last sentence I thought was quite important, so I wanted to highlight this too, but it's recommended Canadian businesses move fast to adopt Gen AI, to gain a competitive advantage means starting with small-scale pilot projects to validate the feasibility and impact of Gen AI before gradually expanding to larger initiatives. And I thought that was really important because, it's good sometimes to just start small, especially when it's such a new technology, which this is. And I think that's where it's a great segue into introducing Nikki, because I think this is exactly what Nikki has done. She started somewhere, as we all do, and is keeping it scaled for her business, but who knows where it's going to take her, right? So on that note, I'm very pleased to introduce you to Nikki Van Boeyen. Nikki Gipman is also, I also send her emails to Nikki Gipman, so she changes the name a little bit. She's general manager of Gipman Kitchens and Cabinetry in Cranbrook, BC. And it's a family-run business, and Nikki is next generation taking over that business. She is an innovative thinker. I've gotten to know Nikki through the Manufacturers Roundtable, and she speaks about all the different things that she's doing. And so whenever she does, I always say, Nikki, will you do a webinar on that for us? And she so kindly agrees to do it. So on that note, I'm going to hand it over to Nikki, and we'll take it from there. Okay? Thanks very much.
Thanks, Sandra. I'm just going to switch to share my screen, make sure I have this set up properly. Okay, can everybody see that? Yeah, you guys see some heads nodding? Okay, awesome. So thank you everybody for joining us, and I'm excited to kind of share what I've been learning about the AI space as it is growing on us rapidly. So today we're going to be talking about how we as cabinet manufacturers can leverage the potential of artificial intelligence to increase growth within our businesses. So as Sandra touched on, a recent report came out from the Canadian Chamber of Commerce. Their business data lab has been doing some research and has come to the conclusion that Canadians are very sluggishly adopting generative AI. So there's a variety of barriers, part of that being a lack of trust in the new technology, and it's definitely impeding adoption levels that Canada needs to improve on economic growth and for our businesses to grow. The report is called Prompting Productivity, Generative AI Adoption by Canadian Businesses, and it underscores how Gen AI can help tackle one of the most significant economic challenges in Canadian prosperity, which is a low productivity, while also exploring what's holding us back. So Sandra pointed out some of these, and I just wanted to emphasize a couple of these. Only 14% of Canadian businesses are considered in the early Gen AI adopters category. We're in the early stages of it right now, so it's definitely something to be dabbling in and learning about, and how you can, what the solutions are out there for your business. Large businesses are more likely to be using it. And I thought this was really interesting that most businesses are using AI, that are using it, are looking to accelerate content creation, almost 70%, and automate without cutting jobs, so 46%. So AI isn't about taking away people's jobs, it's about utilizing it within your job to make your job easier, simple, more efficient, more productive. And I think it's staggering that 73% of Canadian businesses haven't even considered using it yet. I've been dabbling with it for a year, and just what it's done for us as a small business is really incredible. So it's recommended that Canadian businesses move fast to adopt Gen AI to gain competitive advantage over competitors, and on the global scale too, on global competitors. But how? We want small scale projects, especially in our industry. A lot of us are small business owners. We don't necessarily have a big team. I know that's where I come from, and I know there's a lot of people that have bigger teams. But you still need to kind of do a little bit of research, know where to look for certain things. So I'm hopefully going to be able to help you guys with that today. So finding little things. So just wanted to put in a side note that I kind of said this, but AI isn't here to take away people's jobs, and it's not going anywhere if you choose to ignore it. It's just going to put you behind on how fast your business can scale and how fast your business can grow in comparison to your competition. I shared this in Moncton last year, but my husband works for Jim Pattison, and they were holding a large general manager meeting in Cranbrook, and all the big heads of the organization were out here. And my husband asked, what's the company's policies on AI? And AI was just kind of hitting mainstream and accessible to the great public. And Rod Schween hesitated, thought for a minute, and he said, you aren't going to lose your job to AI, but you may find you're replaced by someone who knows how to use it. Because knowing how to use AI is going to make you more productive and more efficient at your job. In the next year or two, it's predicted that approximately 80% of the tasks performed by knowledge workers will be assisted by AI to some degree. This means that the software and tools that we rely on every day, social media platforms, analytic dashboards, CRM systems, and content creation tools will increasingly incorporate AI capabilities to help us work more efficiently and effectively. So let's quickly just take a look at the benefits of adopting AI. So to understand why artificial intelligence matters, and how it can benefit your business, you must first understand the scale and scope of the AI revolution that's currently underway. It's not just a passing trend or buzzword, it's a foundational technology poised to transform every aspect of business and society in the coming years. It's kind of like how the internet came and now we do everything online. At its core, AI is about leveraging the power of machine learning, natural language processing, and other advanced technologies to automate repetitive tasks, analyze complex data, and generate insights and solutions that would be impossible for humans to achieve alone. The potential applications of AI are vast and varied and span all industries and functions. So some key points here are that AI is increasing efficiency and productivity. I know we keep saying that, but if you haven't dabbled with it, you don't understand how much it streamlines things. Think about all of your routine tasks, regular processes, all of that can be automated. AI can free human workers to focus on higher level and more strategic work, requiring creativity, critical thinking, and problem solving. There's a lot of jobs and activities that we do that are just repetitive, and AI can handle all of that for us. This saves time, reduces costs, and allows businesses to scale operations and handle larger volumes without necessarily increasing their headcount, which for a small business or a growing business is really important to manage your costs. Driving innovation, AI enables us businesses to uncover new insights, identify emerging trends and opportunities, and develop new products and services that meet customers' ever-evolving needs. Analyzing vast amounts of data from multiple sources, AI algorithms can spot patterns and correlations that human analysts might miss. This can lead to more accurate predictions, better decision-making, and a competitive edge in the marketplace. Personalizing and optimizing customer interactions, AI helps businesses deliver more relevant and engaging experiences across touch points. Leveraging AI chatbots, recommendation engines, and other tools, companies can provide 24/7 customer service, anticipate customer needs and preferences, and tailor their marketing and sales efforts to individuals in real time. But, of course, we can't talk about the benefits without talking about some challenges of AI. So, of course, AI is not going to come without challenges and risks. One of the biggest components is the complexity. AI technology is constantly evolving. New tools, new platforms, and new ways of using it are emerging continually. It can be difficult for businesses to keep up with the latest developments and determine which AI solutions are right for their specific needs. Another challenge is AI's ethical and societal implications. As machines become more autonomous and influential in decision-making processes, there are valid concerns around bias, transparency, accountability, and the potential for unintended consequences. Businesses that adopt AI must grapple with these issues and ensure that they design and deploy AI systems responsibly and ethically. Finally, there's a human factor to consider. While AI can automate many tasks and augment human capabilities in a powerful way, it's not a replacement for human judgment, creativity, and empathy. Businesses that adopt AI must strike the right balance between leveraging the power of machines and preserving the unique values that human workers bring to the table. Despite these challenges, the benefits of adopting AI far outweigh the risks in most businesses. The goal is not to have AI do everything for us. It's to have AI help us do things faster, better, more efficiently, so we can focus on tasks that truly require human skills like creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence. So let's jump into some of the practical applications. One of the easiest ways to kind of jump into AI is looking into calendar AI. It's incredibly powerful. It can recognize patterns, make decisions, and learn from your calendar and its experience. When calendar AI starts processing the data on your calendar, it'll be able to adapt and make relevant changes over time. It may figure out how long you take to do a specific task and adjust the estimated time to complete it in the future. It will figure out when in the day you're most productive, and it will put your higher priority tasks into those slots. Calendar AI is dynamic, and it provides a more personalized result to each user. So when you first get started with it, you kind of set some different parameters, and it learns as it goes, and it's a really cool tool. So I've talked about Motion. Motion is an executive AI assistant. It automatically plans your day. So a lot of us take anywhere from 5 to 30 minutes to sit down and check over our calendar for the day, the week, the month, and make sure that we've got our priorities organized and, things come up and we've got to reschedule. Motion does this for you on the fly. You get a personalized schedule for each day without that manual planning. So this is a really, if I click on the links, does it show you guys? Or do you just see the PowerPoint?
The PowerPoint.
You just see the PowerPoint? Okay, I just have to change how it's sharing.
Right now we're viewing your screen, Nikki.
Can you see Motion? Usemotion.com?
Yep, we're good.
Okay. So this is a really cool app that I've been using that you can set templates for different tasks that you have to do when you have to check over somebody's work, if you're managing them, if whatever that might be. You can set your kind of to-do list and how long you think you typically take, and it will slot it in on priority. Every time that comes up, you hit your template, you add it, you make a note for what it's pertaining to, and it schedules your day. if you end up, it pops up and it'll tell you you should be wrapping up this activity and getting ready to do whatever the next priority is. And if you need more time, you just tell it and it recalibrates your whole day. And if you're taking too long, but another priority is coming up, it'll shuffle things around on your calendar. It's really, really cool. A new app that I have recently found. It does not want to jump back in. There we go. A new app that I've recently found is Chronologic. So this is an AI meeting scheduler that's been specifically designed. Just my screen. Okay, so Chronologic is built to help sales teams schedule more calls with leads, and it increases conversion rates across pipelines. It has tailored messaging that like templates and stuff built in that you can program to contact clients at the right time in the buying process about whatever. It's a really cool app that I've just started to dabble in. And the whole point is to get your customers in contact with you and set up meetings so that you can be pushing through the sales process. And it's a really cool tool for us in our industry with our sales teams so that our staff are contacting customers and you've got a consistency in pipeline. On all of my slides, you're gonna see, I have not all, but a lot of them, I reference Zapier. Does anybody know what Zapier is?
Nope.
Okay.
You're gonna tell us, Nikki.
I am. So Zapier is a really cool app that makes apps that are not necessarily incorporating AI or don't necessarily talk to other apps connect. So they zap it from one program to another. So for instance, if you had an ad on social media and you wanted customers to book an appointment with you, Facebook's going to basically take a bunch of information and hopefully in a timely manner, not in my experience, but in a timely manner, notify you, the business owner, whoever is managing that social media platform, to say, hey, you have a new lead and contact them. What Zapier does is it'll take that from the moment the customer fills out the form that says, oh, I'm super interested. I want to book an appointment to learn more about getting my kitchen redone. It'll zap that over to whatever of your choice. So a simple option is a Google spreadsheet for your sales staff so they know where all of your Facebook leads are coming in. If you're using a CRM, it can zap that information straight into your CRM if there's no way to connect it through the app. And so then you're being notified of that stuff, of the new leads at the time that your customers are contacting you. I personally find that Meta, so Facebook and Instagram, take a while to notify me as a business owner. So I find this incredibly helpful. You can also set it up so that it'll capture all of the information within your calendar for your sales staff and send a management report of who had how many meetings per week at what stage of the sales process, and it'll send a summary email based on the data that's happening throughout the Zapier platform. It's super cool. There's a lot that you can do with it to automate anything and send yourself data so that you can just read basically a dashboard of what's going on within your company and see it at a glance. And it integrates really well with Microsoft and Google. So you can zap information from calendars and appointment systems, CRMs, into Google spreadsheets or to emails Yeah, it's super cool what you can do with that. So we've kind of dabbled in lead generation. Chat Fuel is a new AI app that you can connect with Meta that helps to automate sales for you within your online platform. Talk To is an AI customer service agent and knowledge database that you can add to your website so that customers can talk to you when they come to your website. It can automatically pop up. They have an AI agent called Apollo. You can call them anything. So if you don't have an agent available to talk with the customer that's on your website looking at something, he will pop on and answer it. And it's super easy to train him. You just put links to your website and the relevant information that you want him to tell customers and how to get a hold of you if they want to book an appointment. You can put in links to your smart calendars, and he will then smartly book the customer to fit into your calendar at the right time for you. So again, with things like Zapier, you can connect these apps to create a train of activity. So imagine a lot of customers are doing their research in the evenings after work on their lunch breaks. They're looking up, hey, I hate my kitchen. I cooked dinner tonight. It's a disaster. It's stinky. It's smelly, and I want to get a new one. What do? They're going to go to Google. They're going to do some research. You're going to pop up in their area and say, hey, I'm a great cabinet company. Come look at me. So they go to your website. You can have the little talk to chat guy at midnight answering those clients' questions about your standard process, what's better to renovate or reface, whatever's best for your company. You train him on what you want him to say, and he'll talk to them. He'll get them booked in for an appointment. You wake up the next day, you've got a phone call scheduled with that customer for 1 o'clock on their lunch break so you can touch base. They're going through a process where they might know that they're talking to an AI robot on your website, but then you're following up with the human touch. You're not having to backtrack and go, hey, I missed you on the website and sorry about that. I need to, let's get in, and this can take a few days. The system can work for you while you're not working to set you or your team up with the leads and the customer service, and all you got to do is call happy customers that are excited that you're calling them. Pretty cool. You can even integrate it so that when Talk To ends a chat, it will automatically send a curated email from your inbox to say, hey, thanks so much for chatting with us. I'm excited about our appointment, and just send a summary email. You can have it do a lot of really cool stuff. A really big one that has been unbelievably helpful for us this year has been automating training manuals and standard operating procedure creation. So Scribe is probably my favorite tool in all of AI still. Scribe has this little it's on this one. Scribe has this fun little button that you can embed in your browser, and you can create an SOP in seconds. So for instance, it's going to be capturing whatever I click on next. So we want to navigate, won't do Google. You want to, this is going to be a silly example, but say you want to show a new employee how to log into your CRM network. So what you're going to do is navigate to where you're going. Is it going to? So as I click on things, it's going to fill in the blanks here. Oh, I'm apparently not logged in.
Nikki, have you heard of something called Tango?
Tango? Maybe.
Okay.
Sorry, guys. I don't know why it's not giving me my login. Normally there's a button right there that I can log into, but I'm using it on a different browser system. So I get you get the kind of idea that as you click on stuff, this is creating the steps that you're doing, and it's going to give you a navigation link to where you're trying to do said activity on which app or whatever you're doing, and it will automatically create and give you a bunch of functions here to say, okay, this is where we're going to navigate to. This is what we need to click on. And it will walk your employees through literally whatever you need to show them how to do. So in the time that you need to show them how to create a basic layout or set up a proper room parameter in your design software, Scribe will capture it in the exact same amount of time that you are doing it. So traditionally, making a standard operating procedure, you have to write out the information and you have to take screenshots and you've got to take the button. Scribe will do that automatically. It follows your mouse, it tracks your clicks, and it will input whatever you type in. It will input that as the content. So you can write sample stuff, you can write the real life example, and it just documents it right there. And then it will merge chain actions into little videos. So the free version, you can do anything on Google, and the paid version for 20 bucks, you can do anything on your desktop. So you can also have it create an SOP from scratch, and it actually knows how to do things. So we have a computer that we haven't been able to upgrade. It's got a really old operating system, and a lot of programs don't like to work on it. We just haven't got around to updating it. It hasn't been a big priority. But you can go into here, and we need to I don't want to capture, I want to create a page. You can create an SOP just from prompting it. So we have to often open our computer in safe mode so that just the background stuff of the operating system doesn't interfere with just trying to turn on a PowerPoint presentation for our showroom. So you can just type in, create it with AI, and procedure for starting Windows in safe mode. And it will give you the step-by-step guide for how to start it in safe mode. And then you can forward that over to all your staff in 30 seconds. And whenever they need to go do said task, they have that right at hand. Scribe also gives you the ability to see what your teammates are doing. You can create onboarding plans for your staff, 90 days, 30 days, your first week, and this will generate itself. And then you can go in and tweak it and apply it specifically to your setting and some specifics that you want. So it's a really cool, really useful tool. And all you got to do is hit share, and then it will track every single person that looks at and reviews it and how frequently they do that. And for them on the user side, it will, when they click on it, it'll kind of split screen so that they can follow the steps while doing the task. So it's really a really unbelievably handy tool. I really like that. Trainual is an online training manual. It's not quite as advanced in AI as Scribe is, but Trainual gives you a different form of reporting if you needed more accountability in your staff's knowing how to do something. Hey, you've been trained on that. You should know how to do that. You know how to find the SOP. If you need more accountability, Trainual is a really good option. You can take all of your scribes and you can put them into Trainual. Scribe has a basic version of that, which is really helpful for smaller teams. But if you've got a big team and need that accountability, Trainual is a really good option. You can automate workflows and connect different departments. So Monday.com, Odoo, these are really good examples of systems that create workflows within themselves. And then programs like Slack are a communication channel. And so again, with things like Zapier, you can connect how they interact and how they automate. They have workflows and automations within them, but you can link them to your lead generation. So if you go back and you've got talk to and you get a lead from your Facebook or your website and it zaps over to your CRM, now you've created a work file within your Monday.com or your Odoo. Sorry, I'm using my scroll and I shouldn't be. Then the information's right there for your staff. And then you can add something like Chronologic in so that it's timing out the right parameters for how you want to contact your customers. What most people are really excited about is marketing, SEO, and things like that. So not all of us are fortunate enough to have a dedicated marketing and internal team. Canva is a really handy online tool that has really embraced AI over the past couple of years, or yeah, past year and a half, and it has its Magic Studio. So you can go into Canva and you can say, I need a brochure for this and describe it, and it will automatically generate templates for you for that. If you needed to create a Facebook advertisement or a social media post, or you're doing an event and you want to create information poster to put around, you can just describe what you're doing within the context of interior design, cabinetry, and it will formulate those templates for you to work off of, and it'll take your brand settings, your brand fonts and colors, and all of that into consideration when it's creating, which is super cool. We all know ChatGPT is the AI language model that a lot of these apps are using as its underlying base. Sorry, I'm terrible with the scroll on my mouse. And then we've got Neural Text, which is a writing assistant for SEO for your website. This is a really cool app that will optimize your website and all of your content for best search engine optimization. So this is a great time saver. If you dabble in the marketing aspect for your company or you have people that do it, this is a really great tool. I think what's really great about AI tools is as the business owner or the manager of a department, you can preset brand voice, brand guidelines, all of that. And then all of the content that your employees are generating, this comes back to using it ethically. All of the content that your employees are created within the parameters of how you want your business to come across. So it's not just a free-for-all. I would definitely not recommend just letting staff dabble on their own. You definitely want to have the account and set the parameters within how AI will function. and it will totally follow your brand guidelines, brand voice, stuff like that. That you have consistent messaging online for your customers, because that's really important. Hootsuite is an AI-driven content creation platform. You can do a lot of scheduling social media posts with it. So once you've created your images and your context in Canva and Neural Text, you can import it into Hootsuite, and it will automatically divvy it out to the right platforms, and it'll smart change it up, so you can just kind of put in one set of content and it'll make a variety of different posts off of it, switch up pictures, stuff like that. So kind of like a dabble in a lot of different really cool things that we can do. I want to get you guys thinking about how can we use it, where do we start, where do we go looking for platforms. There's a lot of really cool stuff out there. So I kind of wanted to give an overview of the easiest ways to dabble in it, depending on what your specific need is. And I'm happy to answer questions, give some more specific examples of how things work.
Thank you, Nikki. Do you want to stop sharing your screen there, and maybe we can, there we go. We'll go back to that. So I'm just going to drag that over here. I've got a few questions, but
Okay.
I would like to open it up though to others who've just gone through this to see if you have some questions for Nikki. Anybody like to get to start? Or even to just to comment, what do you think? I mean, does it just seem like, seem daunting? Is this exciting for you? Are you wondering how you're going to find time? That kind of thing. What are some of your thoughts on that?
One thing that I found very interesting was I've been playing around with Scribe a little bit, and I was not aware. I was too cheap to pay for it because I was still just playing around with it. I was not aware that I can do the actual desktop. So I was under the impression that it doesn't do what I needed it to do. So knowing that the paid version actually captures desktop rather than just a browser, that's really cool.
Yeah. Sandra, can I share one more time? I
Yeah,
want to
sure.
show a little bit more on that really quickly. So within our section, I've gone through, oh goodness gracious. I've gone through, where did it go? I've created, is it on? Oh no. I literally just put it in this file yesterday. There we go. It just wasn't loaded. So when we are working with our customers and we want all of our staff, when they're working with clients, to very clearly label what the rough opening for fridges, appliances are within a set of drawings, I went through and I was engineering a kitchen, and I just had it capture my steps on what I was doing in Cabinet Vision and saying how I want this to be laid out. So it's showing you where to click to go into your CAD, to click on your things, add your text, check all the parameters, and it merges these things into little videos. You do have full control whether you want every step to be its own little picture or merge similar steps into little videos. And you can, and it's, when I was in the same boat as you, but when I figured out that for 20 bucks for a month to run through and capture a bunch of our Cabinet Vision processes and steps was really worth the $20. Because if I stop paying the premium membership, I don't lose access to any of the scribes I've made. So those always exist. So I only need the membership for the premium version to do it on your desktop when I'm capturing stuff. So that's a really good, cool benefit of that.
Yeah,
So
it was
then-
for Cabinet Vision that I was wanting to use it for,
Yeah.
because there's just so much in there. There's just
Yeah.
thousands of little things that we do without thinking about it. But for a new person coming in, it's a very daunting software.
Yes, it's a very steep learning curve for new people, and the tutorials and stuff that they have online are great, but every company uses a program like Cabinet Vision ever so slightly different and has different standards in how they set up their shop drawings and stuff. So it's so much easier to capture that with a tool like Scribe.
Thank you. Do others have some questions?
I have a question.
Hello, Celine.
Hi everyone. Hi, Nikki. Thank you for doing this presentation. It's super awesome. So we've heard a lot today about AI benefits on sort of the sales, lead generation, and marketing side of things, and maybe some of those officey things like standard operating procedures and stuff. I wondered if you have any direct experiences where AI has actually been helpful to you. Once a job hits the production floor, we do a lot of custom work. So I'm just wondering if you have experience using AI to assist your production team in getting through projects faster, better. Yeah.
My production team right now for the last year is 4 guys, and they don't even own cell phones, so they know how to do their job, and they're super incredible at it, but they don't have a use for AI. And they're very human people that they know how to operate the machine. So I don't use AI in our shop. I use AI to assist me in doing my job and my marketing and my sales, so that I can spend more time making sure that they're good in the shop and touching base with customers and using my skills there more efficiently, while my systems run in the background to generate leads and to take customers through the process. So I find within our company, once a project hits production, I don't have anything to talk to the customer about until a week before it's going out. So within my platform, I can set up a just general, hey, things are going great. Have you got these things done on your end? Kind of following up emails. It's not the end of the world if my coordinator doesn't get a message back from them, but it's a good prompt for them to make sure that they're on track so that their project doesn't get pushed out. So I use it more in a business customer service sense than I do on my production floor.
Nikki, can I just ask you a question further to that? If you had 4 very receptive workers on the floor, would you be bringing it in? Would you be looking at that at this point in your journey to
Yes,
AI tools?
I would be looking at integrating their time clocking with our accounting software and all of that in as like kind of step number 1. And making sure that they have the right information in the right place. So they do all have a little tablet that they can track their time on. Yeah, I guess I kind of use it in that regard, but I don't manage our projects through it. But I would have a Kanban board showing where the jobs are at. And then when certain things happen and you click done, it's going to automatically notify the next person, hey, that job's up for you, stuff like that. I would be building in those workflows.
And the other question I was just going to ask you was, do you think then that for our industry, you know, if you're just getting your feet wet on AI, do you think it is better to start in the areas that you've started rather than to bring AI into that production environment? Like, you know, you've done it obviously because you could do it for yourself first, but for another manufacturer, would you if they're saying, oh, I know I need to do something with AI, where do I start? Would you suggest to them that they actually start as you have rather than diving into the production
Yes,
side of
because
things?
one thing that's become really clear with people and Canadians' perception of AI is that they don't understand it and they don't trust it. So you can't dive into trying to run AI in your shop if you can't trust the information that it's giving. So I started playing with it so that I knew, so that I could take something off my plate. And I had to learn to trust the information that it was giving me. But as I allow it to run, like our Talk 2 robot on our website, as I've allowed it to run over the last year and a half, it answers questions from my customers faster. So that's something I don't even need to think about. And after my customers have been there, it sends me a full chat conversation. So I can read through it and then go in and make some tweaks to the information it's sending. So you do have to learn to trust it. So you have to take the baby steps that's going to work for you to learn to trust it. That's why I started talking about calendar AI, because it's so easy to learn to trust it, because it's always going to pull your priorities up. As long as you keep it informed on what your priorities are, it's going to do that. So I think baby steps, because if you can master calendar AI, you can AI your entire production calendar. But you can't AI your entire production calendar if you don't trust that it has the right information. So you kind of have to use it for yourself to figure out and trust it, if that makes sense.
Good points. Good points. Okay. I have a few more questions, but I don't want to take all the time for that. Do others have some questions for Nikki?
Got a quick one. Is there like there's a lot of AI tools out there, but like we've tried playing around with a bunch of them, but then we found that having too many of them is almost impeding progress because you have too many different places for things to happen or too many different applications. So we've tried to, I guess, like simplify things. Do you have any experience with that? Like it looks like you're trying to use a bunch of different tools, but maybe they're more specific segmented tools where you don't have to see them. They just do an action in the background all the time and you're not having to maintain them or visit them as often. Is that fair to say? Yeah.
Yes. So that's where Zapier really comes in handy, because you can set the tools to do the job you want them to. If you have a lead capture form on your website, you can set your lead captures up to automatically send specific emails based on the type of project the customer is looking for, or the geographic area that they're in, so that they're getting relevant information. And so you can build that within Zapier. So then you don't need to ever go look at the apps, because the last step you do is have it send you a report of what it's doing every time it does something, or however frequently you want that. That way you don't need to go in and check all of the apps all of the time. You only need to use the apps you need to use. So so I use Motion. So I don't spend a lot of time in my Outlook calendar. I do everything in Motion. And then it sends me a report every morning to tell me these are what my priorities are. These are the appointments I have with customers. And I can see that at a glance. And then when I'm on my work computer, it just pops up and tells me what I should be doing. So I'm using that app. But I never ever go in, and I never look at my Facebook customer information. I never go look at the Google form that it has created with all of my leads in it, because through the system, it sends me a weekly update of the amount of new leads that we had come in through every platform. So I don't have to go look up that information. I just have it send me a summary of the information that I need to know.
Really cool. Thank you for that. One other like a quick one I haven't really touched on, but we just started playing with it quickly was we have a bunch of remote staff in our team, but we record all of our meetings, and we've been using it's called Otter AI, but it's a meeting summary tool, which has been immensely powerful. So we don't have to have note takers and everything like that. You can be involved in the meeting and it will summarize the meeting and talk about the key talking points and who was talking at what times. And provide like key details of things like action items. It will read through, record the text, and it will summarize the key actions that people need to do and things like that. So it's been hugely powerful and helpful. That just runs in the background of any Teams meeting and things like that. So
Yeah, there's so many really good ones out there. It just depends which one you like. Some of them are not as user friendly as others, and some send a really weird report. I've dabbled with a lot of them. I always use something when I'm doing a meeting with a customer, but we have a really small staff and we're all in the office, so I don't personally use it within my coworker circle because I don't need to, but I always do with customers because you gotta have that accountability. Like, now we talked about that.
Nikki, do you tend to go after AI tools that are free? Some of them, obviously, you have the free version and the paid version.
Mhm.
Is it a real mix out there? Like, how do you sort of
Yeah,
decide
and
when you want to pay for something?
yeah, and you wanna control your costs. You don't want regular monthly reoccurring bills within your business whenever you can afford it, in my opinion, because that's always added overhead, right? And especially when you're learning to trust AI and understand what it does and what it can do for you, I'll dabble with three different versions, three different apps of the same type of thing. So, just trying to figure out what works for me, if it's giving me the output I want. A big aspect of AI is training it to give you what you want. Um, and it will, but different platforms are going to do it differently, because they're trained on a different model. So if you go to ChatGPT, it's always going to give you a very similar output. But if you went to Scribe, it's got a different generative AI language model in the background. So it's going to give you something a little bit different. So it's just figuring out what's user friendly and what, if you do need to pay for it, what fits within what you want to use it for. And something like Scribe's great because you don't need an ongoing all the time subscription to it. You always have access to any of the scribes you've already made. So if you're not in an active creation mode, documenting something in Cabinet Vision, you don't need to run it 12 months of the year. You can just run it for, once a month, quarterly, or, we kind of dedicate July to doing SOPs and updating stuff. So we're going to have it up to date then, and we're going to power through a bunch of stuff. So you can scale it. So I always look for something that starts with a free version that I can dabble in, and then see if the paid version's worth it. A lot of things, it's changing now, but there's still a lot of things that you can do for free with AI.
Okay.
More things are being put behind a paywall, but you can at least try it for free. And a lot of things you can, like ChatGPT, you can always use for free.
Okay. Do you have like a sort of Nikki's top 10 AI tools that you use, or is that what was in the presentation today?
That's a lot of what was in the presentation today. Yeah.
Okay. So I guess that, the a question to all the group here is, I mean, Nikki carved out the time. Time is like our most valuable commodity, and learned this. And many of us will say, I just don't have time for this. It's just another thing, right? But what kind of help could, like CKCA, like we bring this webinar to you, but what kind of help would be valuable to you to help you get started to learn a little bit more about and how to use AI in your businesses? Let's say, for example, would a workshop or a webinar on just one AI tool be of value to you? And what tool would we start with? Right? so that's my question to all of you. I need your input on this, is how can we help you learn this stuff? Because it's a whole new world, right? It's just a whole new world. And we're all pressed for time. So let's see, somebody's replied here, maybe lists of tools and what they can help with. Okay, so that's a good idea. Jordan House says maybe lists of tools and what they can help with. Sometimes knowing what is out there is the hardest part. I would agree with that. That's why I kind of wondered, Nikki, if you've got like a top 10.
Yeah, I can send my PowerPoint out, and then people can kind of start to look at some different categories. There might be a few more that I can add to it, or I can just make a list of them. And then if anybody's interested in looking more closely at certain sections or specific apps, then I'm happy to help.
Like, Nikki, when you learned, did you just sit at a computer and play with it until you figured it all out?
Yep. Like Motion has some really good how to get started guides. Most of the apps are really smart in that they kind of walk you through the basics of what you need to know when you first sign up. And then you can kind of play and input information. And until you start to use it, it's really hard to just know where to start. Like it kind of walks you through, this is where you go for this and this is where you go for here. And then you set up your first kind of project or task and set priorities to it. And then it starts to fill in your calendar. So you can sync it with another appointment calendar. So then it's working around what you already have on go. Yeah, you just kind of gotta open it up and try.
So would a centralized place on our website where we just list some of these tools, would that be useful to everybody? As a starting point anyway, and then all of you, like if there's some tools that you've come across that's helping you with this piece of your business, that you could feed into that and add to that list, like it would be a, what do they call that? Uh, uh, group sourcing kind of activity, but basically just kind of getting everyone's input on what are the tools that would be the most helpful, as we're really all, I mean, most of the people on this call, I think we're really all at the very beginning of this new journey that we're kind of looking at. Is anybody else in this group using AI as much as Nikki, or even as more than what Nikki is doing at the moment? If you want to put it in the chat, or
We're using a lot of it.
raise
Like
the
we
hand.
don't do a whole lot of customer side. We're much more on the production and office side of things, like the after project award. Like we don't do anything up front. All of our clients are word of mouth, but we're very heavy on the we're using Energy as our ERP software, which is doing a ton of AI stuff where like automating invoice receipt, that kind of thing, right? So it sends an invoice in, it will automatically read the invoice, populate our books and everything like that. So, and a bunch of tools with shop drawing management and automatically hyperlinking drawings. So like your section drawings will automatically hyperlink and track per work order, things like that. So a lot of stuff on the office side there are on the production and post project award, but nothing like Nikki's doing up front really. But
And Jordan, who are you with?
I'm with Current Millwork in Parksville in British Columbia.
Oh, okay. Okay.
So
Maybe you'd like to do a webinar.
within our ERP system, all of that is tracked. So I'm gonna share again. Just share my screen as a whole real quick.
Oh, I just looked at the clock and realized we're 7 minutes over.
Oh, sorry guys. Sorry, I can't see it with the share. I know more people are starting to look at Odoo. It's an all-in-one platform. So you have all these different apps that you can streamline all of your internal operations. So with AI, there's a lot of things that you can do with AI platforms all individually. But like Jordan was saying, he's using a system and we're using a different system that all of that's all in one. And so the automations are already built internally within the company, are all built in within this system. So when we get a new lead coming in from Facebook, it automatically loads into our CRM. It's delegated to one of our sales representatives, stuff like that. And then it operates within here. So I look at AI as the things that Odoo doesn't do for me, or I don't want to muddy the waters of certain things. Like right now I don't have our timesheets in here, but just because we're setting up the manufacturing aspect of Odoo. And so it manages all of our shop drawings and stuff, but I haven't got all the way through that. So I don't want to put in that stuff there just yet. But ultimately Odoo does run your whole internal company operations, and you can run social media marketing and stuff. Some of the tools within a bigger platform like this aren't necessarily as powerful as the things you can do with a secondary program. So Odoo is our company, and then our lead generation and our marketing are kind of in its own little bubble of AI world. And then once that lead generation has reached a specific point that I need a sales associate to take it on, then it's put into Odoo and it runs from there. But myself monitoring AI tracks all of our incoming leads and qualifies things so that I don't essentially need a receptionist.
Okay. I want to stop. There we go. Okay. All right. I know, sorry, we are 10 minutes over, so I'll need to wrap this. So I guess next steps then in all of this, because we're really, as I said, at the very beginning and trying to figure out like, how can we help the industry learn more and adapt to this? Jordan, seriously, would you be willing to do something? I'm kind of putting you on the spot here, but would it be helpful to everybody? I see Celine responded to Jordan. Would it be helpful to have somebody like Jordan talk about sort of the production side of using AI, what they're doing so far? Because based on the feedback I'm seeing, I asked you, is anybody using AI as much as Nikki? And most of you seem to be saying less, right? Some are dabbling with ChatGPT, but it's still obviously very new for our industry. Jordan, what do you think?
I definitely could. Yeah, you can I think you have my email, Sandra. We've emailed a couple times in the past, so we can definitely chat about that and see what can get going. We're honestly, we're not going nearly as heavy on the front end stuff, so we're utilizing a lot of the Office 365 platform. A ton of AI is coming out just by default there, and the tools are they're just built in natively right now, which is just fantastic. So it's coming, and just being able to use it is the biggest thing, and not being there's the new Outlook and old Outlook now. If anyone's on the Office platform, utilize the new Outlook, not the old one, because the old one doesn't have the AI tools. The new Outlook does, and and they're force feeding it to us realistically, between Google, Microsoft, everything like that. It's coming, and just staying on top of it. And when the tool comes out there, take 30 seconds and see what it does, and then usually that's enough to say it's good enough. We're good to use it.
Yeah, the great thing with Microsoft and Google, like Microsoft's Copilot, basically builds a brain of your company. So you have to kind of train it and feed it the initial information, but then it learns how you respond to customers, how you answer certain questions. So when you start to get those into your inbox, it'll start to prepare your emails for you. So you just can kind of look it over and go, yep, that's good. That's good. And you don't have to sit there typing it out going, was that right? Was that customer centric? Did that hit the points? Did that not sound snarky? It'll kind of take all that off your plate. It's coming no matter what we do. So it's like Jordan said, you gotta take 30 seconds when you see a new feature within the apps that we're already using.
Right. Okay. Celine, I see did you want to say anything further? You've put some good comments in there.
Well, I didn't want to hog all the asking questions time, so I put it in the chat. I think Sandra, you mentioned we're over time a couple times.
Yeah.
So I don't want to keep everyone here. I think probably there's a consensus that it would benefit all of us to meet again at some point, maybe with Jordan. That would be fantastic. But yeah, I'm in another group, and we have they use Slack, and it's just a channel, and all the entrepreneurs, if you ever have a question about anything, you can just pop it in, and then somebody else, it doesn't matter who it is, they'll answer if they have an answer. And that might be a good way to get some, like, I don't know, hive mind going, some sharing. So
Okay. Thank you.
Mhm.
I'll follow up with you, Celine, on that. And Jordan, I'll follow up with you too. All right. Well, thank you very, very much, Nikki, as always, for sharing all your insights. Been very informative. It's a big topic, and be interesting to see where we go with all of this and see how we can be of assistance to you. But thank you so much for your time today, Nikki, and thank you to all of you. My apologies for running over. A reminder, I've recorded this session. Nikki, I'll get your PowerPoint slides from you so that we can share and maybe build that top 10 list or something like that to get started anyway. And I think it would be helpful to just share some information with each other. And this is what CKCA can do, and perhaps that is our role, is to just kind of get the information out to all of you and see how it's being used. So until next time, thank you very much, everybody, and wishing you an excellent rest of day, and hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Thanks, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.